Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and the guy that won't leave Scott McNeil alone. You have been warned. This is Random Review.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel and welcome back to the review stage. We're going to do a couple of fresh toys for you, just things that I picked up on the same trip out to Walmart, and I'm just in the mood to talk about them because both of them are unique purchases for me in general. So, we are going to be starting with our Generations line, and that is going to be the Retro G1 Seaspray, the exclusive to Walmart. Now, I haven't bought any of the Retro G1 toys before, because, frankly, they've always come out in their, more familiar cartoon decos and designs first. And frankly, since they did the Bumblebee without a toy head, that would have been the only thing that could have grabbed me. They missed me there. But this Seaspray is a brand new mold, and I do like Seaspray, so it would be nice to have them in the collection. And admittedly, it's one of those where if the retail version, like the mass retail, the Generations, the Age of the Prime, if that one that comes out is going to be just a slightly different head, I might just keep this one right now. So we're going to take a look at it, and you can see they've recreated his G1 Hovercraft mode pretty well. The design work is pretty impeccable here. He is just a straight up giant version of the original G1 Seaspray. You know what? Why am I talking about it? I can just show you what a good recreation of Seaspray it is. Look at him. I mean, the color tones on the blues are a little bit off, but the yellow's there. I guess the black, you have to get it right. But you can tell, like, the design work is designed very well to actually complete the look of the original G1 Hovercraft mode. You can see the new painted and sculpted details to replace the stickering that's on the original G1. Autobot logo's not a rub sign anymore, but it is in the same spot. They cast a very similar silhouette. This one might be a little bit lower. This one seems to have taller windows, for instance. Yeah, like all the way around. Like even to the point where you can see the back of Seaspray's head. Though in very different ways. This is the top and the back is on top. And then this is just straight up the back of the head. But no, like, it's a pretty good job recreating it. So, we'll take a look at him again once we get into the robot mode. First that, if we just go in a little bit deeper here, you're going to notice on the underside, very hollow. There's a lot of panels that will be folding into the legs here. This is a little rather chunkier than he would first appear to be. What I note about this is that on the underside of the vehicle mode, you have a couple of like little nubs here, but no wheels. None of those like tiny little little plastic wheels to kind of drag it along. They don't roll well. They never roll well, but it's nice to know they're there if you ever want to scoot something along. And this is a hovercraft. They are known for scooting, and I cannot scoot this. Now without scraping up the bottom side of the toy, I'm used to these. Like, these are just little sacrificial nubs. They are meant to be ruined by kids dragging them across tables and floors. But beyond what we saw in the comparison, yeah, like, you get a pretty good representation. A little bit of black for the windows on all sides. And then, yeah, unlike the original G1, you get a mounting point for a blaster. Not a terribly interesting blaster, aside from the fact that it is painted in a pretty bright silver. We'll get back to that once we get into the robot mode. There's a few 5mm ports if you do want to outfit him with a little bit of accessory. But that said, I think we need to get this guy into robot mode and really show what is going on here. So, I'm going to start by getting the arms out. It's a very simple tab that holds them in place. From there, I'm going to pop that and lower that panel so we can raise this into what will eventually be its proper shoulder position. I'm going to fold them out here just to get them out of the way, just so you guys see what's going on a little bit better. So there's a few steps to this transformation that are a little bit funky the first time through. So let's unclip these parts. So open that up. Yeah, you can see what's coming next. So I'm going to push all this down so we can just kind of straighten these parts out. All the way down to get the robot mode legs where they're supposed to go. Then the entire section now has to come forward again, but this time you're going to take all this middle gut and take it all the way to the front. There we go. That's how you create the pelvis section. Go ahead and unsnap the sides from each other. Now here is the fun little accordion bit. So first up, I am going to take this piece and go all the way in. You can see it fits in quite nicely. This one is also going to rotate as such. With that out of the way, go ahead and hinge this all the way down. That creates the foot. That gives us the room to fold that in. And then from there, that middle section goes in first, and then that panel tabs into that, holds that all together. There's one foot. We're going to go over here and do the same thing, but this is a little bit different. Once we get to this step, you're not going to have that midsection, obviously. So that's just going to kind of fold over and do nothing. And then we'll wrap that down for the underside of that foot too. Go ahead and make sure all this is aligned properly. So here's going to be a confusing part for you. There's going to be a tab and a little slot hole where it lines up, and that kind of secures how the ankle tilt works, but it's not a firm peg in. So don't treat it as such. Don't try to jam everything in. It's more just like a guide hole, if that makes any sense. It's just there for the tab to latch onto, so it makes a more smooth transition when it's tilting the ankle. Though I will admit on mine, this one definitely seems like it could go in farther, and it's not, and it's a little bit annoying. I'm going to go ahead and rotate that section down so the windows face upward, and then these sections on the side are double hinged. So we're going to go ahead and bring them up, and that's going to form the rest of the midsection of the bot. And then we deal with this section. Going from vehicle to robot, like this is, or like the first time you do this is actually kind of an unusual, like awkward kind of placement for this. You get used to it though. So unplug it from there and then double hinge this whole thing over so that these sections end up in the same spot those original yellow tabs were. Push the whole thing down until it all goes together. On the back side, going to go ahead and fold that white panel down to close up the back. Might as well rotate the head while we are here. And to finish it off, rotate the forearms 180 degrees to get them to the front. And that's Seaspray in his robot mode. The transformation's not too bad. I mean, it's weird, like, there's a little bit in there, like, I kind of wish it did a little bit more, but, yeah, a lot of folding into things in the feet. That kind of helps. That feels fun. I do like that aspect of the transformation. But, yeah, like, for the most part, yeah, they did a pretty good job on him. Yeah, it's a pretty good take on the classic aquatic Autobot that we really do not see very often. So yeah, you can see from the transformation, very, very clean, very cartoon accurate, which will be great when the toy itself is made cartoon accurate. For now, it's just a fun little benefit. For me, trying to squeeze these down so they aren't at an angle, and it ain't working. So don't try it too bad. These hinges inside are just on friction little tabs, so don't go being too rough on them. But yeah, for the most part, looking pretty good. I mean, he does have that slightly squat look that you would expect from Seaspray. Shoulders might slump a little bit low. I think that's just me just like gauging the curve of them instead of just gauging accuracy, which is what I should do. The head itself, you can see where, like, it would only take a couple toy hack stickers to make this pretty close to how he looks in the cartoon. Really, it's just the visible eyes would make the world of difference here. Though it is different from the animation model. It is definitely a toy accurate head. I guess that's the cue to bring the boy back, isn't it? There we go. Like father and son, except the younger one is the much larger one. Figure that one out. But yeah, you can see they actually nailed it. It's a really spot-on representation of the original G1 head. Commendable. Like, that is actually very, very good rendition. And yeah, like, there's not a whole lot of details that carry over that are exclusive to the robot mode. So you pretty much get what you see here. Now, I will say that the legs do have a little bit of like added detail. See, they're just normal circles there on the kneecaps. They've added more like a valve shape to it, which is a nice little change up, and also, you know, sculpted details there, which will be more relevant when it's cartoon accurate. But yeah, they did a pretty good job. Pretty good job. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so we've seen through all the details here. Let's go into articulation. The head does rotate. It is on a ball joint. It is on 360-degree motion. But, you know, obviously all this structure around it does make the head a little bit hard to manipulate. You've got universal shoulders that have pretty good range. They do stop right there, though. We saw that the bicep rotation works completely. Elbows beyond the 90. Always love to see that. Let's see. Nothing in the wrist, but we do have a waist joint. You have universal hips. That's great to see. Thigh swivel, 360 degrees. Knee bend. Knee bend. A little bit beyond 90. Like to see that. And then you do have the ankle tilt. Though obviously, you know, there's a lot of transformation stuff going on in here too. So it does get a little bit wobbly sometimes. You flex it in different directions. In particular, like this section is pretty thin. So like careful like moving it backwards or anything. That might be a little bit fragile, but so far, so good on mine. And beyond that, I guess all we can really do is weapon him up and wish him the best. It's not a bad-looking gun. It's just a little bit dull. It's a little bit typical Autobot blaster looking. But then again, offhand, I can't remember how it looked in the cartoon. Maybe this is entirely accurate. I don't know. But that said, that's your G1 Retro Seaspray. So, like I said, it is pretty close to how he looks in the cartoon as well, save for just a couple of missing details in the head, and probably a little bit of difference in the color shades. But for the most part, if you can't wait, if you just have to have a brand new Generations toy, and trust me, I know distribution sucks right now. These are readily available at Walmart. What I would suggest, however, is maybe hold off for a sale with the state of the world as it is. They are charging even above the new deluxe price point and going straight to $29.99 for the retro releases, which is a little bit rich for this figure. If you wait for Age of the Primes, not only is he going to be a few bucks cheaper, but he will be cartoon accurate, assuming he is in Age of the Primes. They'll do cartoon accurate eventually. But for now, I'm kind of biting a bullet here. I do think he's a good figure. He's not wowing me, but I still enjoy him as a toy. But it's that $30 price point that's really making it hard for me to say, yeah, go out and buy this one. Wait for it to go on sale, and you know it will go on sale because these do tend to clutter the shelf for quite a while. But that said, if you get it cheaper, have at it. Have at it. It's not a bad toy. So there you go. With an unexpected cameo from the original, that is the video for the day. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.